Good afternoon, everyone. This is Taylor O'Shea, and I am a member of the social media team here at Gannett Local. Today, we're going to be walking you through the Reputation Dashboard. This is a new product, or relatively new product for us, and what it's going to allow you to do is be able to monitor what things are being said about you online. It scatters over about 120 or so websites, and it will, tell you when you've been mentioned and when people have left reviews on you, for better or for worse. But it helps you to better manage, what's being said about you online, and kind of gives you an idea of what share of voice that you have. So the first thing that you're going to do is want to write down this web address. It's https://repmgt-secure.gannettlocal.com. And we will also be sending this to you when we send you your login information, but just in case you want to write it down now. So the first thing that you're going to do, this will be the page that you land on, and then you're going to want to sign in. Now, just for testing purposes and for this presentation, we have created a fictitious, it's a real company, but it's not one of our current clients or anything like that, just so that we could test it. So we log in, and it's going to land you on this page. This is your dashboard. The company that we are going to be looking at is the Best Buy that is on the Camelback location. And again, this isn't one of our clients. We're just, using this as an example. This first page that you have here gives you just a general overview. It's going to tell you what your visibility is online, what kind of reviews are being left, if they're positive, neutral, or negative, how many mentions that you have and where they're at, and also your competition and how much online share of voice that you have in comparison to your competition. And then also there are the top positive mentions for your company, and also the more negative mentions. And I'll just kind of walk through each one of these and just kind of tell you how to navigate around the site itself and what each one of these things means, so that you aren't confused. First, let's go to visibility. Visibility, you can either access more details on it by clicking on the visibility up here, or just by clicking on details. Either way, it's going to take you to the same place. So when we get over here to the visibility, it shows you have this particular company and location has a 74% presence online. And then what it does is it defines out for you where you've got a listing. This particular location has a listing on Bing, Google Places, and Yahoo Local. And then it goes through all the other sites. The top ones are search engines. Then there's a list of review sites, tells you which ones. Then there's a list of directory sites. And then social sites. And then other listing sources. And they just kind of clump those together because they kind of don't fall into any one particular category. And so just so that you are not concerned when you might see this on your own, like the X's here. The included your listing on 20 sites tells you how many sites have actually been claimed, and that there's a listing claimed where it's possible to actually do that. However, where it says missing a listing and they've got 7, you don't always have to be concerned about that, because some of these sites aren't necessarily places that you'd want to be. Like, this is for Best Buy, they're home electronics. The fact that they don't have a listing on Service Alley, which is clearly something to do if you were like a contractor, who cares? You don't really need to be there. Nobody's going to be looking for you there. So that doesn't need to be of huge concern to you if you see those X's. You might want to skim through and see, like, oh, geez, we should be on City Search. And then register yourself on City Search so that you are there if you feel like that's a place you need to be, but not every place is a place you're going to need to be. And with regards to possible errors, sometimes those are going to come up because maybe you've recently moved locations, and maybe Yahoo Local is going to have a listing for you that has a different address than another site, or maybe a new location that's been added on their site. And so since there's conflicting information, it tells you the possible errors that are out there, and maybe it's just a reminder for you that, hey, we just changed locations or moved. We need to get on and update some of these sites to make sure that people are finding us correctly. So that's visibility. Then under reviews, right here to the right, what it's going to do is it's going to tell you the distribution of the places where most of your reviews are being left between Google, Yelp, and then it combines other. And This is just an entire list of reviews. These are things, if you know the little symbols, this is a Yelp symbol, that's a Google Places symbol, and that's where the majority of these, have been left. But right there, if I was Best Buy, this would tell me, hey, I'd be reading through these and saying, hey, I want to make sure that I'm getting into Yelp and responding to these people. And if you want to go directly into Yelp, you can do so just by clicking on that. And it'll open up Yelp here right to your specific page, that people are going to, and exactly where that review might be, is. So then if you're not already registered, if you haven't claimed your spot down here or whatever, you could do that. We don't do any work with Yelp, but then you could go through and, be using, you could add an owner comment to any of these once you get logged in. So that just kind of gives you an idea of how you can utilize this. And this is probably going to be one of the most valuable things, because even if you've got a positive review sitting out there, go give somebody a cyber hug. Man, people love that kind of stuff. If I'm a potential consumer and I'm shopping around and I see something like that and the company has responded back to something positive just by, oh, great, well, we're just so glad that you had such a great experience with us. Please come back again. Anything like that. That's just great customer service. So no matter what people are saying, good or bad, make sure that you have some sort of response out there for it. Then the next one is mentions. Mentions are going to be, it lists out the places where you might be, where they have found sources of information. Twitter, images, that's not going to apply to everybody, but it might apply to a good number of businesses that are out there. And then mentions of your specific location on Facebook. Now, if you have multiple locations, the reason, I'm sure Best Buy is showing up on Facebook somewhere, but Best Buy Camelback probably isn't showing up anywhere. And so sometimes if you're not seeing that you think you should be on somewhere, but you're not, that could have a good possibility as to why it's not picking it up if you've got multiple locations. Because sometimes people will be talking about one location but not another. And this system is going to pick up based on the specific information about that's in the file about this one location. So that's what gives us the ability to monitor multiple. And down here below are just some additional mentions that are happening in the news. Now, one thing to keep in mind as well, depending on what the name of your business is, this Best Buy happens to be located on Camelback Road here in the valley. So it's picking up the word Camelback, and it's showing on the web that somebody's talked about a Camelback chair, and now here somebody has actually said something about Best Buy in Camelback East, so that I would consider to be valid to that store. But like down here, this is Craigslist, and they're advertising a TV, and they're saying compare it to $30 at Best Buy. Well, that's not necessarily something about Best Buy. It's not a review or even really a mention that is something that you necessarily want to respond to or be concerned about. So it's just something to keep in mind when you're reading through. And then on Twitter, this particular guy happens to be talking about the fact that Best Buy has one of the best deals out there. He's a deal hunter in Phoenix. And that's, that's really great too. That would tell me, hey, I want to be following this guy on Twitter because he's talking about me. So it just kind of tells you where you're being mentioned. It might inspire you to reach out to some of these people. Especially if you found that they were bloggers or something like that. If you had a good relationship with them, they might talk, you might key them up on some of your greatest deals. Like if this guy, this deal hunting Phoenix guy, if he was a blogger, I'd want to know. I'd want to hook up with him and say, hey, I'll send you all the deals you want to know about. So it's just another way to play with that information. Competition, this is pretty self-explanatory, but it's what it's measuring here is your share of online voice. And so, so what percentage of you is being heard in comparison to your competitors online? And so this particular location, I have down Fry's Electronics and also Target as their greatest competitors. Could add in Walmart here if I wanted to. I mean, obviously, like Target, they're going to offer electronics. Fry's Electronics is definitely going to be Best Buy's biggest competitor in town, and it just shows you. I mean, if you can see that this is your piece of the pie and this is your competitor's piece of the pie, that maybe they've really stepped up their efforts and they're more out there online and in the different spaces online, and inspire you to get on there as well, because they're more than three times have a larger voice online than this Best Buy Camelback location. So that's what this graph is telling you. and just kind of lets you know. Reports you don't really have to worry about, nor the social, because we'll be sending you reports specifically on what your social campaign is doing. And then the reports will be coming out, even from this website itself, we'll be sending you the reports for this on a monthly basis. So that's pretty much the Reputation Dashboard. It's a really, really useful tool, and that helps you to kind of dig into the weeds without overcomplicating it. If you find any errors in the information that has been entered in, like at your address or anything like that, we do our best for quality assurance, but in the event that we've made an error, please reach out and let us know, and we'll get that fixed as quickly as possible. Next to that, if you have any questions, feel free to send us an email, and we will help you any way that we can. Thank you so much, and have a great day.